Hey guys, L167 here. This is video 1 in my series of tutorial videos I plan on building on reflex track building. They're going to be based at the total beginner, so hopefully people with not real much knowledge of Photoshop or uh, track building before will hopefully come out of this building some nice reflex tracks. So I'll have to say it's for reflex PC only. So sorry, console guys. If you really want to do this, you have to get yourself a PC, and you can get MX vs ATV Reflex from Steam. It's about $20. So hopefully you guys will jump over to the PC version. Okay, so in this video, what we're going to, in this series of videos, we're going to build a little track, and we're going to go through all the aspects step by step on everything we do in building these tracks. Getting started, what you'll need is my Reflex Track Building Kit version 1.0. This version will probably change as the editor evolves, but it's only version 1.0 in this video, so you can download it from Twisted Dirt, and the link should be in the description below the video. You probably will need to join the forums to download it, but that's only a simple step. So you will also need Photoshop. I use CS5, Adobe Photoshop. So once you've got the kit downloaded, should be a WinRAR file. So you will need WinRAR to extract this file. If you don't know what that is, just Google it and download it and install it, and it's pretty straightforward. So to extract it, right click on the downloaded file and extract here. You should see this box come up, and it'll extract the contents into another folder. In this folder is all the goodies you'll need to build reflex tracks. Okay, so we'll open up the folder, and in it you'll see 4 other folders, and 5 programs, and a README file as well. Now this will change as the version of the kit evolves, so we'll also go through some of the aspects later, but we'll start with the database files. We need to put these into the root directory. If you've already been downloading custom reflex tracks, you should already have all these files. So we highlight them all, right click, copy. You don't need to highlight the README, and we go into the root file. So you should, if you've got the Steam version, it should be in My Computer, Local Disk C, Program Files 86, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, MX vs ATV Reflex, and then Database. So you just want to paste. So just right click outside here and paste, and copy and replace. We want to copy and replace. So we're going to do this for the next 7. So we're going to copy and replace all of them. So go, and it's just put all these in. What they are is they're the beta slot files, and also there's a couple other goodies like all the tracks to freeride, and the Geico skins I think is there too. This is also the location where you put your custom tracks that you download from www.mxmaniacs.com. So you whack them in here too. So we close this down. Okay, so we've done the database. Now we've got main directory files, sample track files, zone and index images. We're not going to worry about those at the moment. We'll get to those in later tutorials. The next step is to install our Digital Earthworks program, the main program used in building reflex tracks. This was made by Twisted Dirt MCM2 boys. I can't say enough, he's put so many hours into this, and without it, basically, we wouldn't be here. So we right click and we run as administrator. This is a very important step. If you don't do this, there will be problems, as the Digital Earthworks does something in the registry apparently, and unless you run as administrator, we'll have problems. So we'll right click, run as administrator, and then just install it. So next, accept, next. Standard root is fine for me. Next, next. I'll create a desktop icon, sorry, and install. It's only a small file, so it should happen pretty quick. And we're going to launch it. So finish. Okay, so once it launches, we have a sort of like a recent track box that pops up. It doesn't really work properly, I'm not sure why, but it doesn't seem to remember my recent tracks, so I always just go cancel. So this is the editor, and we're going to start off with our new track. So step one, we go up to this little blue box up here and create a new track. We then click on Rainbow Studios MX Vertus ATV Reflex track, and another box pops up. Now you have a few options here. The base terrain level 20 and the displacement map resolution. So I always start with 10 there. We'll get into that later and why, but this is asking about your displacement map. And your resolution. Now you've got the choice between 1024 by 1024 or 2048 by 2048. 1024 by 1024 is a smaller map. It doesn't mean it's any better resolution or anything like that. It just means the size of the map is smaller, so that's more suited to a supercross track. And a 2048 by 2048 is more like a national track or a really large supercross track. It's 1 pixel is 1 foot, so basically you've got 1,000 feet by 1,000 feet up the top and 2,048 by 2,048 feet in this one. So we're just going to go 1024 by 1024 and go OK. Okay. You see it loaded up a new track, and what you're in now is the Objects tab. Now you can move around in the Objects tab using the 3D view. Here we want to go up, down, see down the bottom here, left or right, or you can use shortcut keys, which is found under the Options tab. It tells you what the keys are here. So W is forwards, you can go left and right. And at the moment we've got basically a blank canvas to build our tracks on. So with this blank canvas, I'll just explain a little bit how reflex tracks are built. Up here on the tabs, you'll see the objects. We won't really be using this, even though you can zoom around. It'll be for later on when we do have objects, and it'll be for placing the objects. So the main tab you use at the moment is the Terrain and the Scene tab. The Terrain tab basically consists of these images. As you can see, I'm clicking through them: the height map, the top down, the mask map, etc. I'll go into details later of how to build each one and how to make your own textures and so on and so forth. Basically though, these are the default map images which builds a track. The Scene tab now is a few other settings like sun angle. You can change the rotation which it comes in on the map, the angle here. Scene settings, we won't get into any of these just yet. The most important one here is the beta slot number, and I will leave that at 1. So I always like to leave the track I'm editing at 1. There's 8 beta slots at the moment, but we'll just leave it at 1 and we'll keep it simple. Okay, we've had a bit of a brief run through the editor. We haven't got too into it, but and our next step is to save our work. Always save before you get too far, and we'll also export this blank track into the game to test it, make sure everything's working so far. So we're going to first save it. So you click on the brown button up the top, and we're going to save it as a compiler track file. Click OK, and I'm going to save it on the desktop. Going to create a new folder, put it in, called test track. We'll go in that. Once you're in that, we'll save our track as test track also, and then click save. Now if you click on the logs tab, and leave it there, now we're going to go and export the track into the game. So click on our export button up the top, the brown button again, and now export it as a beta test track, and click OK. And you'll see what happens. The logs will, you have to have them all enabled also to see what's going on. And it'll help you for troubleshooting down the track if there's a problem with one of your files or something. But usually it's pretty good. So you'll see down the bottom, track file set saved successfully. And what that's basically done is compiled all the images into the 4 files needed to make a Reflex custom track, and it's put them into the database folder automatically, all done. So basically we could go into Reflex right now and test it out. It should be a perfectly blank map in beta slot number 1. So we'll give that a go. Okay, we're now in Reflex. We'll go into Arcade. And you have to go into Freeride. Choose a bike. Choose a Honda. And now in beta slot 1, we should have a perfectly flat blank canvas. So we've just put our first track into Reflex. Although this isn't much of a track, the next step now is making the track. So, okay, one last thing before we wrap up this first video. Our saved file test track on our desktop that we created before. If you open it up, you'll see a whole series of images. We really don't need to do anything with those at the moment, but the one we need to know about is the .track file. If we want to open our track up, we open up Digital Earthworks and cancel this, and we open a track file, and you should be able to find it. See, it's already up, but it will be in your desktop, test track, and test track file. So click on that, and then that opens up our file we created before. So that's how you get back into your work. The next real step is creating a height map. For you guys who've already been creating tracks before, that's the first thing you do. But I think I'll leave that for the next tutorial video. So if you want any more information, twisteddirt.com has a lot of information already up there. There's a wiki on the site, and there's plenty of good guys over there that'll help you out. Anyway, that's enough for video 1. We'll be back probably within a couple of weeks with how to build displacement maps for video 2.